stop apologizing for the version of yourself that is finally choosing to heal. Alright? So I know that, have you like ever apologized for like changing, like have you ever felt the need to explain why you're basically no longer the person that you used to be? You get what I meant, right? Because you see like, I'm sorry that I don't reply as quickly anymore, I'm sorry I can't always be there like before, I'm so sorry I need more space now, I'm sorry that I've changed. But here's the question, why are you apologizing for becoming healthier, for setting boundaries? Why do we feel guilty for choosing peace? Why do we feel selfish when we finally start protecting our energy from toxic people? So for so long, many of us learn to measure our worth by how useful we are to others, so how available that we were, how much that we could provide to them, how much we could sacrifice, and we turn relationships into silent transactions, yeah. So I for instance, I give, you give a lot, so you deserve love, you help people, so you deserve to be valued, you stay in that relationship, so you won't be abandoned, and somewhere along the way, like you forgot that you are basically a human beings before you are useful, right? So today I want to remind you that the version of you that is healing does not need an apology. The version of you that is setting boundaries does not need permissions. The version of you that is finally choosing yourself is not becoming selfish or narcissistic. So you are finally coming home to yourself because you are protecting your peace. Okay? Yeah. So you see, like, there's exhaustions, not only you but me too, exhaustions of always proving your value. Like, many people like grow up believing that love is something they have to earn, like be helpful, be successful, be agreeable, be easy to love, don't disappoint people, don't create problems, don't ask for too much. And slowly we begin performing our way through relationships. You perform. We become experts at reading the room, experts at adjusting ourselves, expert at knowing what everyone else needs except ourselves. We treat every interactions like a business deal, like, what can I offer? What can I offer? How can I make myself more valuable? Will they still choose me if I stop giving? But love was never supposed to be a negotiations, right? Because your existence is not a service you provide. Your value is not determined by how much emotional labor that you can offer. And you're not only worthy when you are helping other people, right? You are basically worthy when you are resting, when you are healing, when you are simply existing in someone else's life. Okay? So that you're supposed to know that, okay? And you see, like, one of the strangest experience of growth, is realizing that not everyone will celebrate your healing. Some people will love the version of you who had no boundaries, because you're basically like a people pleaser. Because the version who always say yes to everything, the version who like ignored your own needs, the version who accepted less and let other people disrespect you just to maintain the peace between you and that person. So you see, because when you change, my love, when you change, they may call you different. They may say, you have become distant, you have changed, like you don't care like you used to be. Oh, you're so narcissistic, you're so selfish. You see, but sometimes what people call changing is actually you becoming honest, right? You are no longer pretending to be okay when you're not. You're no longer forcing connections that drain you. You're no longer sacrificing your peace to avoid disappointing others. Healing is not always comfortable sometimes, especially for those who benefit from your pain. Let's have a silent moment. Yeah, but remember, someone being uncomfortable with your growth does not mean that your growth is wrong. Okay, so stop measuring your worth through your usefulness. Okay, because a transactional mindset teaches us that, oh, I matter because I provide something, but a soul-led life teaches us that I matter because I exist. There's a huge difference, because when we only value ourselves through a useful stop, I just dripping my word. Okay, so when we basically value ourselves through our own usefulness, what we can do and all, we basically become so afraid to honest, to be authentic. We're afraid to receive, we're afraid to need other people to help us, and we start believing that, oh, if we aren't constantly contributing, we don't deserve a connection. But imagine loving someone only because of what they can do for you. Imagine telling a child, oh, you are valuable because you achieved something today. It feels so wrong, right? Because we understand that human worth exists beyond achievements. So why do we forget that for ourselves? Because you are basically not a product, okay? You are not a resource. You are not a role you perform for other people's comfort, right? Ew. Throw that away. Throw that mindset. Don't do that. Because you are the main character in your life. You are a person. You are a human. A person. You are a person with emotions, with dreams. A person who deserves love without having to constantly proving yourself just to earn it. Okay, you deserve so much more. And trust me, something greater will come to you. Yes. Because a true healing begins when we stop calculating everything. We stop asking that, oh, how will they react? Will they approve me? Will they still want me? And instead we ask, oh, does this bring me to peace? Does this honor who I am becoming? Does this connection allow me to be authentic? Because peace is not found by managing everyone's expectations. Peace is found when you stop abandoning yourself. Okay? So there's a quiet freedom that comes when you no longer need everyone to understand you. When you no longer explain every boundary that you made, you no longer defend every decision, when you trust yourself enough to walk away from what no longer is aligned to you. Not every ending is a failure actually, because some endings are simply a proof that, oh, you finally listening to yourself. Yep, that's, you are protected. Okay, because you see, because we often chase a perfect relationships, perfect version of ourselves, perfect emotional control, but the real connection has never been built through perfection. Yeah, that's just my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, wait, let me just pause this. Okay, I'm back because yeah, I'm back. Okay, So yeah, do I look creepy? Why do I look creepy here? But it's okay. Yeah, so remember, embrace the messy beauty of being a human. We often chase, all the perfection, because the deepest connections happen when we stop performing, and start showing up. Not as the person that we think people want, but as the person that we truly are. Because the right people aren't looking for a perfect version of you. They are looking for a real one. Someone who can laugh with, someone who can struggle, someone who can grow, someone who can say that, oh, this is where I am today, and still believe that they are worthy of love, So if you are currently becoming someone different, let yourself. If you are learning boundaries, honor that. If you are choosing peace, protect that. If you're walking away from old patterns, celebrate that, because you do not need to apologize for something that no longer fitting into places that require you, like shrink yourself. You do not need to build, feel guilty, for becoming someone who respect their own heart, because the version of you that is healing is not selfish, it is sacred. Okay, because every time that you choose yourself, you are breaking the cycle of abandoning your own needs. Okay, you are creating a healthier relationship with yourself. Okay, and that's so beautiful. All right, and from that place you can finally love others without losing yourself. Remember, you were never meant to be valued only by, for what you can provide to them. You were meant to be loved for who you are, not because you are useful, not because you are perfect, not because that you always give, but simply because you exist. And maybe the greatest healing journey begins the moment that you stop apologizing for becoming the person that you were always meant to be. Yeah. So if this message resonated with you, I want to ask you one thing. What is the one thing that you are finally allowing yourself to stop apologizing for? Is it your boundaries, your growth, your need? So share it in the comments, because your honesty may give someone else permission to heal too. And remember, you don't need to earn the right to exist. You only need the courage to finally live as yourself, the authentic version of yourself. That's all. And thank you so much for watching until the end. Bye bye.